We all are aware Nepal is a mountainous country where naturally iodine is deficient in the soil. And because of deficiency in the soil, iodine deficiency remains public health problem in this country for a long run. And due to this deficiency, mostly children and women, and those especially who are living in the remote and inner part of country become vulnerable in the last 2 decades. And as you see from this graph, in 1965, IDD was very critical. 55% was the goiter rate. And because of the intervention that is supported by government of Nepal and its partners, including UNICEF, the iodine deficiency reduced significantly to 40% level in terms of total goiter rate. And even at that time, it still remained as an issue of urgent for the tackle. In 1998, when we did the Nepal National Magnetic Status Survey, there were no new cases of visible goiter. So our program has been little bit shifted from this iodine oil supplementation injection to the universal salt iodization. Here I adopted this famous conceptual framework on the malnutrition for the iodine deficiency disorder, how it is manifested. So in general, iodine deficiency occurs in the situation where either there is low dietary intake of iodine or inadequate utilization iodine will happen as an immediate cause. And low dietary intake of iodine will happen only in the situation when there is low iodine in soil and this crop produced from this soil is consumed. And another reason is if there is a low consumption of seafood rich in iodine, and also processed food rich in iodine is low consumed in the country. And deficiency also occurs if there is presence of goitrogens in our regular family diets. And due to this, iodine become unavailable to the families. These are the underlying causes. And the basic causes also goes on the inadequate education that is also supported by the resources. So if you look in the rural areas, there are many tendencies to use the cassava, tapioca, cabbage, cauliflower, millet, even in the raw stage. And that will increase the availability of iodine in our regular diets. To address this problem, government of Nepal already started from 1973 Universal Salt Iodization Program to address the immediate cause of low intake of iodine at the family level and then eliminate the iodine deficiency. And what is the program responsive then that done in last 2 decades is to make it sustainable through salt iodization program, through the salt trading data that was happened in last 2 decades. And for this purpose, the monitoring system, well-established monitoring system established in the salt warehouses up to the household level, and these monitoring activities were supported by the Department of Health Services as well as the Department of Food Technology and Quality Control. So I cited it from the Nepal National Plan of Action on Iodine Deficiency Disorder that was developed in 1997. This was the first plan of action in iodine in Nepal. So why Nepal adopted the USI policy? The reason is there is only one single trading agency in Nepal that is very easier to monitor. And salt is consumed in every household in Nepal, irrespective of the socioeconomic status and the geographical locations. And it is consumed in very constant quantity, 13.9 grams as per the Nepal National Magnetic Status Survey. And it ranges based on the geographic location from 10 grams to the 18.7 grams. In salt, it is very easier to add the fortificants, which does not impart any color, taste, and flavor. And the cost of fortification is very insignificant, just 50 paisa per packet. Nepal adopted the policy to iodize at the 50 ppm level at the production site, considering all the losses that happens during its transportation, handling, and storage. And it ensures that when this salt reaches to the household level, there will still remaining 15 ppm iodine. That's the reason Nepal adopted this USI policy. The iodized salt supply chain in Nepal is very simple. All the iodized salt produced in India, iodized here, not in Nepal, and it gets certified by Government of India for its quality then it is transported through the railway system, and it reaches to the Nepal through the trucks. When it reaches to the boarding area, it into Nepal by trucks. And here in Nepal, the responsible agency to ensure the iodine level is still Salt Trading Corporation Limited Nepal, which checks its iodine content, and then it is stored for more than 6 months in the salt warehouses located in the different part of the country. Especially 6 main sites is there, where there is internal monitoring system, external verification system to ensure the salt contains adequate iodine. And here it gets packed in the small pouches and delivered through the depot and dealers, and finally is reached to the retailers, where the intended beneficiaries get the iodized salt. This is a very simple supply chain in Nepal. And then the questions comes, what is the program responses that we made in last 2 decades? Is the government Nepal and its partners focus on mainly 3 responses in last 3 decades. The first one was in monitoring. Next one was transportation subsidy to meet the inequity in the access to the iodized salt. And third one was the nutrition education. As a part of monitoring, the iodized salt monitoring system was strengthened in the last 2 decades. Transportation subsidy was provided in the iodized packet salt that is distributed into the remote and inaccessible district by the government of Nepal's fund. And nutrition education was supported by the UNICEF and its partner agencies like EMI, USAID, and all this. So, in terms of program monitoring response, the first point of monitoring was adopted at the point of production, which is in India itself, where the Salt Commission provided certification. And then the quality of salt is tested by Salt Trading Commission when it entered into Nepal. And then internal monitoring system was placed in the salt trading warehouses under the support of UNICEF and EMI. And then external verification was done through the Child Health Division and DFTQC. There is a robust system. And at the market level, DFTQC is the sole agency, the government agency that is controlling the iodine level in the salt. And at the household level, periodically Nepal government is monitoring the iodine consumption through the periodic surveys like Nepal National Magnet Survey, Nepal Iodine Deficiency Survey Status Survey, NDHS Survey, and NMIX Survey. So there is very robust system of monitoring for the iodized salt in Nepal. So recently, Nepal also did a Nepal National Magnet Status Survey, and already we tested the salt that is collected from this field, and also did urine iodine sample testing in the sample that is collected from the field during the survey. And as you see, there is 2,109 salt samples is already tested in DFTQC laboratory. 1,134 urine samples from the school children were tested in Guatemala. 2,131 urine samples from non-pregnant women were tested in the Guatemala, as well as 203 samples of pregnant women were tested in the Guatemala. So all these results are linked very well with the target groups. So there is very easier to analyze this data in the future to understand well and what is affecting. So this report will be available by end of 2017. And next program response is transportation subsidy. I already mentioned more. So there is a kind of government is putting some money to increase the accessibility. And one of the great things that Nepal done is nutrition education through its iodized social marketing campaign, especially under the strategy, 2-child logo salt was promoted, which symbolizes the adequacy of iodine in the salt. And so many activities was organized, right from the electronic focus through the electronic and print media, county-based social marketing approaches were adopted, and also intensified approaches to reach the unreached community was also applied under social marketing. And there was targeted intervention as a nationwide intervention. Nepal government is organizing RDD month every year in the February month. And due to this, we can see there is a good progress in the use of iodized salt from 55 to 95%. The test method was adopted, the rapid test kit method, but recently the ICC, UNICEF, WHO, and ICC IDD guideline on the monitoring of iodized salt is proposing to use the titration method than the rapid testing methods. So even we are meeting the household use of iodized salt by this method, we are still waiting the report of National Micronutrient Survey. In fact, we are well aware about the finding also at this moment. Nepal is going to meet the USI goal very soon. This is the current status. And due to our program responses, the use of iodized salt, not only in the urban areas, even in the rural areas, enhanced a lot. And already we meet the USI goal. The population who is using adequate iodized salt up to the is good because the as per the this biochemical indicator, if there is 100 to 219 microgram per liter iodine excretion, that's what the population is supposed to be iodine sufficient. So we are already meeting this one, even when tested in pregnant and women. But the key challenge here I like to highlight is there is some more than adequate iodine excretion in the urban areas. So means in the urban areas, iodine is reaching through the other sources too. And there is very good correlation in the level of iodine versus the marine iodine excretion. But at this, the surprising point is at the 0 ppm level, there is also good excretion of iodine. So where are the iodine sources for this group? So this is the critical questions here. At this moment, then we know the contribution iodine in the at the family level from the salt, but we are not aware contribution of iodine from other processed food and other sources. So there is a high time and need for the food consumption survey in Nepal to understand better the reason behind more than adequate iodine excretion among school-age children in urban areas of Nepal. So these are the take-home messages. Almost I already covered. Nepal adopted USI goal is policy. Program responses are in place. Nepal is involved meeting USI goal very soon. But there is need to understand the contribution iodine in foods in families from other sources. And for this purpose, we need food consumption survey, and we are looking ahead for this one.